Bozo Circus is on the air.
Oh, Lily! I am such a funny clown. I like to travel round and round. The circus is my home. I always seem to roam. In the rocket ship I soar, I explore the ocean floor. But you must know I'll never go unless you come along. Bozo, Bozo, always laughs, never frowns. Bozo, Bozo, Bozo the clown. Oh, Billy!
I brought up Bozo the Clown for a little bit in my Lost Cartoon Classics video, but not really talked about him too much. I grew up with Bozo in the 1980s on WGN, and I thought he was the only one in the market. That was until I moved to Pennsylvania. This is when I discovered that Philadelphia had a Bozo too. At the time, I really didn't think much of it. 5 years later, I moved back to Indiana. Back to the Chicago Bozo show. I soon discovered that Bozo was moved from weekdays to Sunday mornings in 1994. 1995 was kind of weird because WGN worked Kids WB around the show. Then in 2001, the WGN Bozo show was canceled altogether. I really enjoyed Bozo as a kid, and although this is not going to be about the separate Bozo shows themselves, there is an interesting history surrounding Bozo as a business. And that is exactly what it is. A business. Think McDonald's. You want to open a franchise. But in order to get the Golden Arches, Ronald McDonald, McGriddles, and the Big Mac secret sauce, you have to buy into the McDonald's franchise contract. This requires a total investment of $1 to $2.2 million, with a liquid capital available of $750,000. The franchise fee itself is $45,000. With Bozo, it's the same, although I don't know what the cost of that is. Only this time, instead of getting the Big Mac secret sauce, you get to use the name Bozo, the world's most famous clown, the use of the grand prize game, and of course, the Bozo Cartoons. Bozo was big business, which is amazing because it started out as the first record and read-along storybook.
Just follow me, Bozo the Clown, and I'll take you to see Circus Town.
If you recognize the voice, that is Pinto Kovig, who played the original Goofy. The first of these records came out in 1946 and was released by Capitol Records. The character of Bozo the Clown became a hit with children. Soon more and more records were released. This was the brainchild of Alan W. Livingston, who worked at Capitol Records. He is known for signing Frank Sinatra, but is most famously known for his audio children's books. This includes one featuring Walt Disney and Warner Brothers characters as well. With Bozo being a hit on records, it was time to move to television. The first station to air Bozo's Circus, KTT in Los Angeles in 1949, featuring Kovig as Bozo.
Hello. I'm your old friend, Bozo the Clown. I'm sure you've heard me on records and enjoyed all the Bozo-approved albums, too.
When Livingston left Capitol Records, one of the actors who portrayed Bozo for promotions, Larry Harmon, bought the licensing rights to Bozo and renamed him the world's most famous clown. Harmon started his own cartoon studio and started to make cartoons of the clown and distributed them to TV stations that bought the rights to their own Bozo.
Howdy, folks!
And this is where the history lesson stops, because we are going to look at Bozo, the world's most famous clown cartoons. Right off the bat, you can easily confuse this with a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, but this was the style at the time. Cheap. The cartoons really do feel like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, complete with rejects from Hanna-Barbera. Mostly Wacko Wolf, Ollie Cott, Short Biggie and Big Shorty, and Slippery Blythe, who is the love child of Igor in Flat Top from Dick Tracy.
I must get rid of that cop.
Hey, put that back down, clown. No, I'm running for a touchdown.
One of the problems with the Bozo cartoons when compared to Hanna-Barbera is Bozo has no real plot or story around him. At least with Yogi and Boo Boo, we knew he lived in Jellystone Park, likes to cause trouble, steals picnic baskets, and gives the ranger a hard time. It's in the theme song. Bozo is put into random scenarios for whatever the plot calls for. He's hardly in the circus and is a hero. He would be more interesting if he was a troublemaker causing problems for the ringmaster. Bozo also has a little buddy named Butchie, who, I guess is a ringmaster or a ringmaster in training, or with the band. Who is this kid? And why is he hanging out with a clown? Butchie is not important at all. At least with Boo Boo, Babalooey, and Dingaling, the bigger characters use them as a distraction or as something useful. Butchie is just there to talk. You know, ask questions and point out dangers. Not really being useful. But again, that's where other characters come in. Characters like Wacko Wolf and Alley Cat. Oh my god, that's an odd way of saying Alley Cat. Why didn't I notice that before? These characters actually improve the story. And a lot of time, Butchie is not there.
It's time for me to drop out of sight. Oh my, aren't we clever? I know you hold up down there.
If you recognize some of the voices, don't be surprised. These are some of the same voice actors that voiced characters in the Rankin Bass Christmas specials, Rocky and Bullwinkles, and other cartoons. Unfortunately, it is hard to find a complete episode of the series with credit scenes. But the most notable voices are Larry Harmon as Bozo and Paul Frees as random characters. Were the Bozo the Clown cartoons bad? Well, it's hard to say, really. The show's format and how the episodes may have been used may have been a detriment to the series. People remember specific things about Rocky and Bullwinkle, like What's the Matter You? But since the Bozo cartoons are surrounded by a live-action Bozo, with games and gag, it's hard to get people to remember anything about the cartoons. In a sense, they were overshadowed, therefore not remembered as fondly as other cartoons. But are they good or bad? Yes or no? They are what they are. There were better cartoons at that time. But obviously the cartoon's downfall is the structure, and not really establishing Bozo. It's not horrible, but it's forgettable. People will remember the live-action Bozos before they will remember the cartoon. Now, does the passing of Larry Harmon mean the end of Bozo the Clown? Not really. The latest one was in Brazil, last seen in 2013. So there could be a revival, but I doubt it. Maybe a company like Disney or DreamWorks could produce an animated feature based off of the world's most famous clown.
Did y'all have fun today?
Until then, I'll settle on reruns, if I can find them. And then going to the arcade to play the Grand Prize Game! Until next time, I'm Toonamp. Thanks for watching.